I'm going to be the first therapist to tell you exactly what to do. Hello? Hello from Vancouver. Does anybody notice something about me? I don't want to lift my hands because I'm about to reveal my manicure. I'm about to reveal my manicure. My little sister Yehudas is a nail enthusiast. That means in her free time, she does different nail polishes. And in fact, she did something called the shellac. Do you know what a shellac is? Look, I'm moving the mouse with my finger like this because I don't want to show you. But you notice something else. I'm going to move my fingers like this. Do you see this? The necklace Natalie made me. She's been promising me. Yet last week I wore a choker necklace that she gave me. And this week I'm wearing one that she made me. This could be the girliest episode of Dykevice yet because I'm about to reveal, and those of you caught a sneak peek of my manicure. Yes, and she went stingy on the pearls. You'll notice there's a couple pearls, but she says they're $1 a pearl. So I said, can I get more than 2? Am I not worth $3, Natalie? She stinged with the pearls, and then she gave me this says Rob. No, if you see that, I can't move it yet until I reveal. Guys, before I even reveal my nails, obviously it's been a week. Obviously we're calling me this week. 802-427-SCUM. That's 802-427-7286. We're getting in the queue. We're listening to the show from the queue if we're waiting in the queue. You don't have to wait all the time. I'll tell you when to call in. Try and get in. We're going to be talking a lot today, but we're also going to try and take some calls. So if you want to talk, get in the queue, 802-427-7286. I mean, you're supporting the show. You're calling, you're watching, you're listening, you're supporting. You're going planetscum.live. You're hitting the Dykevice drop down, and you're supporting this show. With our first contribution, I think I can tell you, Bryson's here in the private chat. What's he saying? We have one caller on the line. Let's get the caller on the line for the reveal. Bryson, who do we have on the line already? See, this is the kind of momentum I'm talking about, guys. We have callers in the line already. This is what I'm saying.
It's anonymous from somewhere.
Thank you. Anonymous from somewhere.
Hi.
How are you? Hi, how are you?
I'm okay. How are you?
Good. How can I help you?
Well, you know, it's been a week. It's been a week. And not just for this.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, yeah, no, go ahead. No, you go ahead.
Do you want to reveal the nails with me?
I would love to. I actually painted my nails the other day.
Okay, could you give me a big intro,
Yeah.
caller? Can you say, like, all the way from Vancouver, all the way her sister, a nail enthusiast, gave her a manicure. This is the girliest episode of Dykevice yet. I'd love, like, anything from your heart would make me feel more confident and more willing to share. It's a vulnerable thing for me to share my new nails.
Hell yeah. Welcome, everyone, to the girliest episode of Dykevice yet. We're about to reveal Robby's professional shellac nails, and I cannot wait to see how beautiful these turned out.
Do you want to get
from Vancouver? Here she is. Oh, yeah.
Boom! Boom! That's correct?
They're so beautiful.
Okay? White and blue. Thank you, Bryson.
They're so gorgeous.
Okay, now I cut my nails myself extremely short. Okay, because between me and you, I'm going back to LA. I'm gonna see my girl. I gotta keep it safe. Okay, but I went too short for the shellac. She was very upset that my nails. First of all, she doesn't want me using a nail clipper. She wants me using a file. I don't have a file. Okay, dykes aren't doing the file as much. We're doing the clippers. But she made it work. She had the machine, anonymous. She had like the machine with the, she had like a whole situation, like a special light on my fingers. What do we think of these nails? I mean, this is a whole new thing. This is a whole new
The
me.
UV curing light?
Yes.
That's fancy as hell.
Yes, she is a nail. And wait, why can't Bryson? This is always backwards. I'm unable to figure out. Over here. Look at that. Rob.
They look so good. Also, I cut my nails extremely short too, as a person who is, I'm queer. I also, to be very clear, I do also have one of the few jobs where I work with both human waste and food. So
you gotta keep it.
You want to keep
appetizing. Yeah. Well, did you have anything in particular to tell me, or should we talk about the mess that happened this week yet? Are we ready to do that?
I mean, this week has been sucky, but it's also been sucky in kind of a personal way that I was hoping you could maybe help me with.
Please, please. I'm bringing the worst kosher wine. Shout out to my sister Yehudas again, who gave me this bottle free, but it's too sweet, these kosher wines. And again, thank you for the free bottle. I appreciate it. I'm calling you here from the Airbnb. They don't have a lot going on. I appreciate it. Go on. How can I help you?
Well, so like I said, my job involves a few things. That's partly because I work for a family.
Right.
I'm a private nanny.
Nice.
And I've been working with the same kid since she was a newborn. She's 3.5. And I got some kind of exciting news not that long ago that my boss is pregnant, which I was very excited about for a few reasons. First of all, I'm happy for them, obviously. Second of all, I assumed that meant I had a level of job security that was very interesting to me because I love working for this family. Finding a family to work for is horrible, and I genuinely love them and like working for them. So this week, I was at work, and there was a card on the fridge, and it said, "New home." And I was like, I don't know what that means. So I did peek inside the card, and it was a card from a family member congratulating them on purchasing a new home in a beautiful new location, which does not bode well for me because she's going to be giving birth in, some amount of time. They're probably going to want to move before they have another baby. And it's like all of a sudden I'm like, I might not have a job in 6 months. And I was under the impression I was going to have a job for a few more years with this family. And I feel awkward because I don't want to. Okay, first of all, the next day I went back and it was gone. So it was clear that it was like, probably not intentional for it to have been on the fridge. And they probably didn't mean for me to see it. They haven't mentioned anything to me.
Are they moving out of state or they're moving to a new neighborhood?
Probably a new neighborhood, but they haven't said anything to me. And I'm afraid to ask because I do feel like I don't want them to feel like I crossed a boundary by reading a card that was on their fridge. You know what I mean?
Yeah, don't ask. And don't, my girl says she's from the South. Do not borrow trouble. This is something I'm trying to, okay? A new neighborhood doesn't mean your job is, you're running to conclusions that your job isn't stable anymore, that you don't have the job security that you thought you had. It's very possible they're moving to a new neighborhood and you can commute there as well.
It's possible. The thing is, since COVID started, I'm either riding my bike or they're coming to pick me up at my home because they don't want me taking the metro, understandably. So I think they're moving to the suburbs, which I don't know if that would be appealing for them to drive all the way to pick me up in the city. You know what I mean?
Listen, okay, let me tell you something right now. Still don't borrow trouble because we don't know. This might be a move in 6 months.
Yeah.
I don't know what the pandemic will be in 6 months. Maybe they'll be fine with you on the subway in 6 months where things are changing so radically. We have no idea. Here's the good news. Okay, that there's no bad situation, okay? Obviously, it's scary to feel like your job is maybe in question. I don't think we can jump there just yet. I think there are many scenarios where your job stays and becomes even more important, especially with a newborn. That's the first thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's the job, okay, so I think that the commute and stuff like that, things are changing radically, and I think that it is possible that you maintain this job and that there is a commute, and in 6 months or whenever they move, the commute becomes doable. Okay, they don't want to find somebody new that they trust and all that. With childcare, it's very touch and go. Okay, let's say the job is, let's say they're moving somewhere else. You have an amazing resume now that you've been with this family since she was a baby to 3.5. Do you know the trust that takes? Baby to 3.5. You will find a family even more who have maybe 2 kids, and you'll have a glowing review. This is all word of mouth, this type of business. They might be talking to other people. You might get a raise in the process by starting with a new family, saying this is now your base rate, which is your highest rate with them. But now you can command a higher rate moving a job. Okay, so it seems scary. Yeah. This is one of the things to me that reeks of a blessing in disguise a year from now. It's one of those things that either your workload doubles and they give you a raise because there's now a baby and a toddler, or you get a new job with a new family and you're starting at your base rate. So this is one of those things that my guttural reaction is this is a blessing in disguise type of issue. I understand the anxiety about it. Thank you.
How are you so good at calming me down though? It's crazy.
Because I've never been wrong, Anonymous, and I wish I was. It is this difficult to be right all the time, to be as rational as I am. I don't come off as rational because I seem erratic in my communication style, and I understand it. But the truth is that I'm thoroughly thinking about these things, and it hurts to be right. Anonymous, I hope I've helped you. I don't, I don't love, a lot of people don't think I'm optimistic because I don't sound, it's difficult being a pessimist who sounds optimistic, but this is alas who I am. I sit on the binary somewhere. I'm never on either which side. So good luck to you. Speaking of which.
Thank you so much.
Not at all. And I hope you'll listen to, Anonymous brought up a good point. Why am I listen, I don't want to be right, guys. Okay? I woke up. I was the only person who woke up on Election Day Tuesday, 2 days ago. And I woke up calm. Everybody was frazzled. What's going to be today? What's going on? I had succumbed to a Trump victory years ago. Okay? I was already been preparing myself for a Trump victory. So I was one of the only people who was calm. I was watching YouTube. I did my meditation. I was relaxed. People were panicking. What if Trump wins? I said, what? What about when he wins? And now we have a shot that Biden will win, Baruch Hashem. But I had prepared myself for a Trump win. And this is why. First of all, I thought it was very likely for the reason that I just saw it happen in 2016. Anybody who feigns shock or who has true shock, I don't understand. We just saw this thing happen in 2016. So now you're telling me that something I just saw in 2016 that everybody thought would never happen, that could never happen again. I just saw it happen in 2016. So I don't understand how you're asking me to believe that. I don't understand how anybody's shocked that something they just saw in 2016 happen again. It makes no sense to me. So that's why I woke up calm. Okay, because I prepared for it. I said that I would be shocked if Trump loses, just as I was shocked that Hillary lost. Okay, and this sets me up for a pleasant surprise if Biden wins. I get to delight in that. It would be a shock to me, as much as a shock to me if Biden wins, as it was to me that Hillary lost in 2016. I don't listen, guys. As you know, I am, and the reason I listen, I'm the queer Trump we all need. If his energy was put to good use, you'd have Dykevice. We know this. The way I looked at it this year was the election is like my tits. Okay? And I know we got callers on the line, and stay on the line, but this is important. Okay, the election's like my tits. Okay, when I had tits, it wasn't great. Okay, I didn't like having them. They were a nuisance. They were floppity in the way. I couldn't just chill scrolling on my phone on my bed. which is something I enjoy to do, a little relaxation. Okay, they were in the way. But then I thought, I got in my head, and people got in my head, what if you cut them off and you regret it? What if I cut my tits off and for some reason, all of a sudden, I have this regret that I need them in my life for whatever reason, and that it looks worse than it did before, and it makes me more dysphoric? Who knows? But then I figured, well, I know the situation now, and it sucks. I know what having tits is like, and it sucks. If I cut them off and I regret it, and it sucks again, okay, so I ended up exactly where I was. In both scenarios, it sucks. The only difference is if I cut them off, there's a chance it doesn't suck. If I keep them, it sucks. There's no chance of change because I'm keeping them. If I cut them off, it could suck, yes, but it could also be good. That's what Biden is like to me. Trump, we know, sucks. We're here and it sucks. Now, it's possible Biden gets in there and, like everybody's saying, he doesn't change much and it sucks. But it's also possible that if he gets in there, it's better. And I think, for me, I mean, he's much better. Just morale. I think people forget that the biggest thing of the president, for me, is the president represents the morale of the country. Policy aside, it's like, do you feel like you're waking up in a dystopian hell every day or not? That's a huge role for me, just the morale, that there's somebody with some semblance of decency in that office. But that's what the Biden ticket is, guys. Okay, everybody's like, well, but yes, we were all reluctantly Biden, and that's fine. At least with Biden, there's a chance it gets better. Trump sucks now. We know if he continues another 4 years, it sucks. So Biden's the only chance of maybe it sucks, maybe it doesn't. This election has been like my tits in many ways. You know, and I think for a lot of people who are surprised, it's just obscene to me. I mean, look at the queer community. Look how lucky we are. Okay, we've had all this progress. It's very slow sometimes, and it feels like we haven't had progress in many ways. But a few years ago, nobody knew what the fuck trans was. Now we're all over the fucking place on covers and all kinds of shit. We've gotten to see progress kind of rather quickly. There are a lot of this people in this country, poor people, who haven't seen a raise in 20 years. They've seen nothing. So while we're seeing some progress, there are people who haven't seen any progress. They're not queer, they're not whatever. For them, they haven't gotten a raise. The minimum wage hasn't been raised in 20 years. So I understand when it feels like somebody's speaking to them, even if he's tricking them, they feel like, okay, this person's at least talking to me. I looked at the RNC and the DNC conventions, and I had a huge problem. The DNC convention, when they advertised it, you remember it had all those famous people on it. It had Julia Louis-Dreyfus, who I love. It had many famous people giving speeches from their fancy homes. It's like poor people don't want to see rich people talk to them about what's going to be good for them from a fancy mansion. It's like, have a clue. And then when I saw the RNC, I thought, oh no, it's definitely going to be close. If Trump doesn't win, fucking A, it's going to be close. I'm not surprised about that, because who did the RNC have? All laymen. All regular people. The only famous people they had were people who blew up on memes. Those crazy people with the guns on their lawn. Relatively regular people to them. They weren't famous people. And so they had people talking to people. And I understand what's appealing about that when you've seen your life decay. As somebody who grew up poor, it's like we have to understand what that feels like. And a lot of the people in our bubble don't. A lot of Twitter, these folks aren't on Twitter. Polls? People going polls? The only polls that work are the ones you lick in the winter and you get your tongue stuck. Have you ever answered a poll? If somebody calls me with a poll, hi, I'm coming, you hang up. So how is anybody, we knew not to listen to the polls in 2016, yet people listened again now? This is your own fault. So I knew it would for sure be close. And then I prepared myself for Trump because I'd rather be pleasantly surprised than fucking disappointed and in shock like you guys. You know, at least pretend. You know, obviously Trump doesn't care about the poor, but he pretends to. At least feign it. I don't know. So I feel about the whole thing. And, and if you are a lifelong Republican, a lot of Republicans do not like Trump. They are lifelong Republicans, though. They come from these families where that's all they hear. And some of them, for the first time in our history, we had a chance to change some of these people. I'm not talking about diehard Trumpers. I'm talking about Republicans. My sister said something very smart. My sister Debbie said there's a difference between the Trumpers and the people who voted for Trump. And that's such an important distinction for me, because I think about the lifelong Republicans who are fed up with Trump. And we could have given them an alternative, but we didn't. We gave them Biden. And Biden, what's the most famous thing we know about Biden is that he's the status quo, that nothing really changes with him. So even if people were looking to leave the Republican Party, they're going, well, I don't want the same. Because we fucked out of anything radical. We rigged Bernie out of the race. And I don't know if Bernie would have won the South. I don't think he would have, but at least he presented an alternative, a real alternative to this system. Biden isn't an alternative. He's just better. And that's the best we got. So am I surprised about it? No, I'm not. I've had a relaxing week relative to most people I know who are freaked out about it. Because I grew up in a certain place and I understand what it feels like when people are talking to you. And I get that could mean a lot, even if it's lies, even if it's pretend. And the DNC just lost its way to some extent. That said, better is better. Better is better. So I got my Biden blue nail polish. So that's my take on the whole situation here. I wanted somebody, of course, in 2016, I wanted Bernie and people yelled at me, and I wanted him now. Because for me, it was all about capitalism and the corruption of government that I have a problem with. Why do some people claim Biden's just the same? Well, because he works for the banks. We have to recognize that the corruption between the banks and the government is a real thing. That was the thing I was most angry about, that Bernie was suggesting an alternative to this type of government, something that had less corruption, that didn't tie itself to the banks, that didn't rely on the banks for funding. It's essentially the government now works for the banks. It works for Wells Fargo. It works for, whatever, Goldman Sachs, JP Morgan. It doesn't work for the people. And Bernie suggested an alternative, bringing the government back to work for the people. We elect them to work for us. That said, again, better is better. Biden blue. Bryson, can we get somebody else on the call? Have we lost everybody in the queue at this point?
No, they stayed with you. You want to talk to a friend?
Let's talk to a friend.
All right. Dot is on the line.
Oh, Dot.
Hi, Robby.
Dot, I just had a lot on my chest, Dot.
Oh, well, I mean, technically you don't have that much on your chest.
Oh, that gets me. You know what I mean? Makes me feel better. Makes me feel better. Dot, how are you?
I'm doing pretty good. I kind of dyed my hair to cope with everything, and it's looking pretty nice, and I'm feeling nice.
The theaters, Bryson's still saying he can't do video chat. We've been asking.
Well, I can't really video chat at the store, and I will DM Bryson.
Right. Ugh. You got the book, though. Dot, are you breaking up? Or is it me?
No. Hi. I'm here.
Okay. Did you get the book this week? Everybody knows Dot got the book. Remember the Dot?
Yeah, I got the book.
I mean, that was unbelievable. Is that not what people needed to hear this week? That Dot got the Dot book? It was like this book was written about Dot. They must have met Dot.
It was a book for me.
Imagine, Dot.
And now I have it.
And you got to see this book. Imagine how it changes people to see a little girl on the internet like Dot.
Yeah, a little girl like me.
You know what I mean? It's like it's amazing to see. To me, this is like what if you hadn't gone through with what you've gone through. Dot is like this Dot book is like you as a little kid for real. That's how I felt about it.
It really is. It really, like, I can't talk about it that much because I will get emotional.
Oh my God. Well, we just love you. And oh, what's he bringing up? Oh my God, Dot. You know what I love? I love that you did
What
red
do you love?
red. Like I got my I love my girl's got this red hair, and when she wears red, I like red on red.
Oh, it's so cute. Red is one of my good colors.
Yeah, and I like.
And I've always wanted to have red hair.
I love it. And you know, Dot, you know, I used to be a bit of a redhead when I was a child. It's much darker. It's more of a brown now, but it has redness to it. It's not as red as your hair is, but maybe one day if I go, you know, if I really want to be radical, maybe I'll hit you up for the color. We could be matching.
Oh, wow. Wouldn't that be a thing?
Would that be a big
I do have a question.
Yes, go ahead.
I do have some advice to ask tonight, Robby, which is I've never been much of a financially stable person.
Yeah.
And at this point in my life, now I am, to where I can, like, make some decisions that are, like, investments and making my money be more than just, like, a number sitting in an account. And I have no fucking clue how to do any of that. So do you have any, like, guidelines of how, like, what I should research?
I just started getting involved, Dot, as a matter of fact. So here's.
Wow.
Yes, there are apps. So the stock market is very confusing and it leaves out most people. That's why when we look at indicators that the stock market's doing well or whatever you guys are looking at, it's like, yeah, most people, that doesn't mean they're doing well because most people don't have stocks. They don't really know how the shit works, you know, to some extent. I happen to have financial background where I have a little bit of that, but still I never quite follow closely. What has made this super easy to learn if you want to get involved in any small amounts of investing, first of all, there's other ways to invest that aren't just in stock. There's saving up for a house, but you want your money to go further. And I don't think that, by the way, I don't think real estate investment it's very volatile and it's not the best thing. You don't have to own a house. It's almost affordable in most places anyway. So you're better off. But there are apps. I specifically use this app, Robinhood, and we're not sponsored and we should be sponsored, but it is a stock app and there are a bunch of stock apps out there now. Robinhood has found to be very user-friendly and things like that. And I only have a little bit in it. You can have stocks that are as cheap as a few pennies. Okay. And then there's Amazon stock, which is like 3,000 and also don't support, but if you know what I mean, I'm not here, but just there's good, you know, there's something called value vesting versus value investing is something that Warren Buffett is a big fan of. And this means it's the kind of investing I try and do, which is like, I look at a company, I see if I like this company, if I like what they stand for, and if I think they have a future, I try and invest there. Now, I only have a few stocks. I'm only in about, you know, maybe 15 stocks, things like that, okay? But Robinhood lets you learn slowly. You can put $100 in, you could put $1,000 in, okay? And it lets you just see and get the hang of it. You can cherry pick your stocks. It can give you recommendations and tips. You can see your return or your losses right away. For instance, when COVID happened, the first stocks I bought were all the cruise lines because I think Americans are going to be back on the cruise. We don't learn in this country. It's why so many people were shocked 2020 that it's close. I wasn't shocked because I learned from 2016 what can happen. So I think, you know, my Carnival's doing well. My Norwegian cruise is doing well. Listen, I made $12 on a Carnival cruise. I only have a couple stocks in them, and they're like $30.
Hey, that's not nothing, though.
That's not nothing. That's not nothing. So I would check out
$12.
$12. And times 2 stocks, it's $24 I made. Excuse me. So I would check out some of these stock apps. A YouTuber that I love, and again, I'm not sponsored, is this kid, Nate O'Brien. He's a minimalist, but he's a personal finance guy. He has, I think, somewhat of a financial background. He is not a banker, okay? He is not qualified. He's somebody who happens to be good at some of these things. He actually has a great video, Nate O'Brien, about the stock apps, and you can see which one floats your boat. Now, apart from stock market, Dot, through your bank, you can put in safer things like, and this is what I suggest for the bulk of your savings, the stock, really just play with a few dollars and see if you like it. But the bulk, put in long-term savings, long-term bonds. Those are things that guarantee you can't lose money. They either stay at the amount that you have it or plus 1%, plus 2%, but you can't lose money. And that's where you should have your long-term. It's stuff like that.
All right.
Things, and depending how liquid you need to be. If you don't need to be liquid, if you don't need the cash on hand, that means you can do something like retirement savings or things like that, where you really either locked in longer. But until you get the hang of it, you can also just do regular savings for now until you're sure that you don't need the money.
Oh, wow, dude, that is exactly the type of thought out, amazing answer that I come to expect from Dykevice.
Thank you so much, Dot. You know what? Gethard gave me a hard time, guys. Thank you, Dot, for calling. Have a great shift at work. Gethard gave me a hard time, telling me that I took too long on my answers. Remember when I was on his big fancy podcast where he's got millions of views? Okay, and he's got millions of dollars. He probably works for the bank himself. You know what? He gave me a hard time that my calls take long. But you know what? They take long because they're thoughtful. I'm here to help. And I have all these different expertise. I have the financial. I have the political. I have the emotional intelligence. And I'm just sharing it with you. Speaking of Gethard, God knows he doesn't pay me, really. Remember that time he was late? He's getting later. I get paid sometimes a week late. In that case, not just support me on the show. Don't just support PlanetScum.live, which you should be dropped down Dykevice. Throwing what you have. You supported Biden? Chas v'shalom, you supported Trump. You're supporting PlanetScum.live, Dykevice, my show. But you're supporting me in another way. You know what I just released? My little hotel on wheels. You don't think I built a van this summer to take my mind off of things and COVID? Look at this van. Bryson, get this up, this listing. There it is. Look at Bryson. Show all the photos. This is not nothing. Look at this woodworking, which we had help with the inside wood. I built those shelves in an afternoon. Good for clothing. And the wood smells Georgia pine. It smells so delicious. All from Home Depot. Look at the second picture. Now, by the way, this is right outside my house. You're not going to go to a parking lot. If you guys are renting this thing, you're going to a nice park. You're going to, you're going to Joshua Tree. You're not going to sit there on the car. Bryson, leave it there because, you can go to the next one. That's okay. Look at this Coleman stove. I love that. And I bought the matching tin. I love those little bowls and the mugs. That's a coffee in the morning. Okay, keep going. Those curtains, unbelievable flannel. And by the way, that couch, it goes into a bed. That's my own design. I built that couch bed in 2 days. I designed it, and I knew that if I had hinges, I used very basic geometry, and I made this couch bed. It tri-folds. Okay, look at this. And that is a memory foam mattress. It's extremely comfortable. And we put in the fairy lights. Is that cozy? Because the thing is, guys, why I got this van, it was cheap in Georgia. What did I buy it for? $2,000. I knew I could flip it. I got it for less even. I knew I could flip it. $2,000 for the van, guys. And it's a very good van. I know enough about cars that I knew whether I'd get a lemon or not. I knew if it's not the engine, it's not the transmission, okay, anything else I can fix. And all we needed was a new alternator. And I put it on my own. I put in brand new AC. So you're cozy. You're having a good time. The van's name is Georgia because that's where I bought the van. This van, the same miles on it would be $8,000 in California because everybody likes camper vans. In Georgia, they never really heard about it. Look at this. Night lights, headlamps. You're going outside. You're exploring. Look at this. Stop at this picture, okay? Look at all the little details we got. Look at the flannel curtains that block off the front cabin, the drivers. Okay? You got all these little utensils and things for outdoor cooking. It's a delight. It smells amazing because the reason I got this van, as you guys know, is we were worried COVID. It's hard sometimes to stay in hotels. It's scary. This is so easy to sanitize. It's a tiny space. We wash everything. And you're isolated naturally. You're not around people, and the hotel, you can stay wherever you want. Look at that. Look at that carpet. That's a real Persian rug. Bryson's like scrolling so fast that I have to like give you this, like it's like crazy. Bryson, you want to go back, show the carpet? Is there any way to zoom? Oh, yeah, like that. Look at that carpet. Is that cozy? Is that amazing? You have a little mirror there to do any shaving or whatever you need to do. You could take the mirror and shave outside, mind you. You don't have to shave at the van. Okay, look at this. Oh, I love the Stanley coffee pot and the 2 mugs. Look, kitchen utensils. You have everything you need. You can stay wherever you want. You can isolate. Okay, and look how cheap the price I put. People are doing $125. I'm doing $99. I want people to have a good time, and it's fine. And I've used it, and I want to also be able to still use it the weekends it's not rented out, because it is nice to be able to get. I live in a city, and it's nice for very cheap. I can go out of the city now. I don't have to worry about it. Look at this van. Look at this. Look at the fan. Look at that. It's an exhaust fan, and it's a skylight. So if it's cool outside and you want to cook inside, you can. You just pop that fan open, and it pulls out all of the steam. And it's a nice little skylight. You also have a USB fan for cooling if you need more cooling than that fan, which also cools you, and it's an exhaust. And look at this, I have the generator. You're plugging in your phone, you're plugging in your laptop, you're doing all your Instagrammable moments. You plug everything right in there that lasts days. So look at this van, my van Georgia, treehouse on wheels. And it's been just a delight, and I'm sharing it now, and it costs me nothing. I keep it on the street. I have free parking. And so this is it, guys. We're finding new ways to explore our surroundings. I'm not going on trips. This is the way I take trips now. And if you guys like it, you have a good experience, maybe you'll do this type of thing too. And it's nice to share. We already have 3 renters, so it's nice. You know, what is it? Like when you take a trip, sometimes you go on an Airbnb, it's like $700 for the 5 days or whatever you go. This van cost me $2,000. I did all the work myself, basically. And it's like if I even take 3 trips, so that it's worth what I would have paid for Airbnbs. And already I've taken more trips. I drove from Georgia to California with it, so it already paid for itself. And I got to park wherever I want. I parked on a creek. I went swimming in a creek. Could you imagine me in the cold water? I loved it. So guys, it's up there on outdoorsy.com, which is a great like co-op type. It's like Airbnb for vans, and it's a little more friendly. It's a little more pro the van people. They're not sharky. It's like really easy. Everything's insured. And we were like, why not? And it's the best. We have friends taking it out this weekend. I'm excited for them. Who do we have on the line, Bryson?
We have Anonymous from Montreal.
Okay, before Anonymous gets on, guys, you know we have our 24/7 hotline too. I'm happy you guys are calling in live. You're getting much better with the queue, but 24/7, I'm available to you on our hotline, 702-706-DYKE. Okay, if you're not able to watch the show Thursday, you're not able to call in, you can leave me a voicemail. We'll get to it on Thursday. You'll watch it the next day on YouTube. Okay, I'm happy to help 24/7. I'm here for you. I don't want to have to, you know, at a certain point it becomes a burden to help with all these things. That's why you guys are supporting the show, even if you're just watching PlanetScum.live. Drop down Dykevice. I do this for you. God knows not for Gethard. That millionaire doesn't need anything more. Bryson, put Anonymous from Montreal on the line.
Anonymous, you're on.
Hi, Robby.
How are you?
Hi.
How are you?
I'm all right. I've been better, but you know, that's why I'm calling for the expert advice.
Yes, I'm happy to help.
Just to start out, I'd like to say I go to McGill. I'm getting that you know, grade A education. I'm doing a master's, and
nice.
Yeah, I'm doing a master's in information studies, and I'm studying to become a librarian. And I got a pickle for you.
Wait, before this, are you a nice librarian? Because some of them are so nasty. I don't know why. I remember asking a librarian, can you help me find this book? And she goes, the computer's over there. I said, yeah, but it's a very difficult computer system to use. I hope you'll be not planning to be helpful.
I'm the nicest. I was a kindergarten teacher. I'm the best.
Okay, thank
So
God.
I love getting people books. I love it. So no, but there are a lot of odd birds in my program. So I get where that stereotypes comes from. But the reason I'm calling is because I'm relocating actually to Calgary because my school has gone remote. They told us about a month ago that the rest of the year is remote. You know, I'm spending a lot of money on rent and everything, and I'm relocating to Calgary to save some money, save some kesef, you know, because I don't know what the future will hold in the job market. Calgary's also was going through a crazy bad recession before the pandemic, so now it's really bad.
Right.
But you know, moving back in with my parents, I'm going to be 32 in about 3 weeks, so it's a little bit of a struggle. It's always been a struggle, like living with them and being with them, but they have the best intentions. But you know, I talked to my therapist, but as you know, everyone watching, therapists can't tell you exactly what to do, only you can. So my therapist did recommend that I put in an application for an apartment. I got the apartment in my price range. Thank you. Got the you know, my brother, he's a doctor, he's very wise. And I asked him, you know, what should I do? Yeah. I asked him what I should do because basically, you know, our mother does, she has mental health issues and it's very hard to live with, very hard for me especially. But, you know, I deal with it because we love her and we don't want her to, you know, feel like we're isolating her. She has my dad and everything, but it does really hurt her when we kind of like find our own way and do our own thing. But, you know, then again, I need to move in with them. So I say to him, you know, I have enough money to last me till the end of my, oh no, my best friend's calling me. Sorry. Last me to the end of my degree, end of April, and I have enough student loans. I just got another bursary, so I have enough to last me to then. But that's, you know, that's not a long time to tie me over. And then once I've done in end of April, I got to start paying back those loans. I have, you know, my rent is going to be $1,000.
Okay.
With that, you know, utility is going to be $200. Then living, even though I don't have, like with the pandemic, I'm not spending a crazy amount of money on living expenses, but still, you know, groceries and all that, that's going to be some money. And I talked to my parents about it. They're really like, you know, just suck it up, live with us for the semester. And, you know, they have some good points financially, but I don't know if it's going to cost me a lot of, you know, sanity. So I don't know, Robbie, what do you think?
You can't move in with your parents. Okay?
No?
Nope. No. Okay, your health, your living. I told this to my sister. And by the way, doesn't this crush cap look like a halo on me? Like a little crush halo? I'm like an angel. I'm your real estate angel right now. You can't live with your parents.
You are, 1000%.
I was telling my sister this today. Okay. She was like, oh, she lives in a cheap apartment, really small, really cute. And she needs a little more space. She's now working from home 24/7. It's a studio. And she's like feeling a little stir crazy. So she's like, should I spend more and get a bigger place? And I said, kind of, yeah. Living is never a waste of money. Living is the only thing you should prioritize. This is your life. As my Zadie said, my late grandfather, rest in peace, said, you're living your life now. We are always living for this future life. You're in it now. You're in your life right now. It's happening. Living is the most important thing of living your life. Coming home, having that space. You're doing a master's. That's taxing. You have goals to get a long-term job. Okay, what's a semester? 4 months? The $4,000 in rent and expenses, maybe $6,000.
Yeah, so
is not in the grand scheme of your life going to make a difference. The mental duress that you put yourself under for 4 months will make you unhappy. Okay? If you know you need these boundaries with your parents, which you do, I understand that there's mental health concerns, which we all have. I have certain family members I have to put boundaries with. I can hang out with them for a couple of days, things like that, and I need to go. I need my space. And that's like the most important thing to keeping a healthy relationship with these people to begin with. And that's fine. And anybody, you said something very important to me, Reese. You said it almost a small thing. You said your mother gets upset when you don't live with them. So your mother is upset by you having boundaries, which means that she gets along better with you when you don't have boundaries. She likes you when there's no rule. That's actually really not great. It's toxic. And my sister showed me something where I saw that argument too about the boundaries thing. That's something I've been thinking about a lot this week, hanging out with my sisters. Okay. So what, she likes you when you know, so you cannot live with your parents. It's going to be, you're going to feel claustrophobic. You're not going to feel good, and you need to feel good. And that is worth the money, in my opinion. The only time it's not is if you really are in dire constraints and you go to Canada, you go to school in Canada. It's still expensive, but it is a manageable payback program once it starts. Okay, there's lots of conversations that can happen to lessen your load. If you need to make smaller payments or things like that, there's a lot of opportunity to work with you. Okay. And I think that unless you were absolutely dire need, going to be homeless, for instance, yes, move in with your parents. If you can swing it, do swing it. You will not regret it. You'll be much happier.
Well, that's the thing, is that I kind of am at that point where, you know, if I don't get a good job, you know, really close to graduation, I'm going to be in some dire need. And that's why I'm considering it. Before I wasn't even considering it, but now, you know, looking at it on paper, it makes me think, you know, maybe I can suck it up. I've done it before. You know, I was with them all summer and it was craziness, but I think, I don't know, but I do completely agree with you.
When's graduation?
End of April, but I'm also a teacher. So what my plan is that you have to like get on with the college to be like in the union and everything. So I'm going to get on that for the next year, because then you have to pay all these union dues and everything. And why would I pay for, you know, the next few months of 2020? So I'm going to do it for 2021 and try and find some part-time work. But
this will force you to find
I'm not saying that I would.
I think this will put into fruition in the universe that you do get a good job before graduation. I think everything will fall into place. And if it doesn't, you have a crash pad. Okay, you break your lease, you're fucked. The landlord's mad, whatever. Nothing you can do. You don't have the money to, you know, that's it. You let them know it's COVID.
But that's also the thing. Is that my parents were quite upset, and they were like, if you take this apartment, you can't come back.
Well, then you don't want to live with them. You're sorry.
Yeah.
That's disgusting. Giving you an ultimatum about your life. It's your life. Remember, it's not theirs. They have theirs.
Yeah.
Okay? And you don't want to live with them if this is the kind of threatening that they have. Even just the way that anybody manages the process is the way that they manage. You've heard me say this before with my sister getting a job. She said they had all these interviews and this and that. I said, expect that when you're working there. There's a lot of overlording at that workplace. I guarantee it. The way people manage any process is the way they are. Okay? Maybe your brother is a doctor. He sounds like he's doing well. He doesn't have an extra room.
Oh, he's doing really well.
He doesn't have a room.
No, he lives in Vancouver. So if you need anything,
why
you
can't
go to his hospital if you want.
Why can't you go to Vancouver? You're doing your
Well, the thing is, I actually kind of want to move. I have like a good group of pals, you know, in Calgary, and
start working.
I'm happy there. And
your parents, the more I know you can't live with them. So this will force you to really either work out the apartment or contact everybody in your network, find out who's got a room, who's got something better. Because I think we can do better than being forced to live with your parents who are giving you ultimatums already before you've even gotten there, okay? That's my advice to you.
I
think
agree.
It's the best advice.
Yeah.
Okay, good luck.
Thanks, Robby.
I think this will kick everything into gear. I think you just can't live with them. That's the only thing I know. Really it. It would be the wrong decision to live with them. I'm telling you honestly what is right. It is absolutely wrong to live with them. It won't work out. It's going to make you feel bad, and I don't want you to feel bad. So that's where I stand. Sorry. I want you to feel the best that you can feel. I want a nice librarian. Maybe this is why librarians aren't so nice. By the time they get to work in a library, they've lived with their parents, overlords, and they didn't feel like they had any breathing room. So they're not so nice. I want to come to your library where you are, and I want to say, hey, can you help me find this Greek book? And you go, yeah, it's right in our Greek section. And you help me and you walk me, and I like that. And you do all your research and everything behind the desk. Thank you. Thank you for calling. I really appreciate it. Hope this helps. Oh my God, you guys, what a week it's been. Let's just keep another call. I mean, the advice is really flying off. And I know some of it's hard to hear. I know that caller, it's a difficult thing. It's parents. We love our parents. But there's boundaries. You're 32. You're your own parent now. And it's such a privilege to be your own parent. And I've said this, I talk about the responsibility it takes to make yourself good. It is a thankless job to self-raise. Okay? People talk about having a dependent at home. They talk about having these people at home. And the truth is you already have a dependent. You already have to take care of someone. You have to make sure somebody is well-fed, somebody has a roof over their head, somebody is fulfilled emotionally, physically, and that person is you. And it's a real job. And you have to prioritize it so that you can be a real, healthy, functioning person in this society. So it's not always easy advice to hear, but I think it's the right advice. Well, what, Stephen? Well, glad you've got a healthy enough relationship with your parents to have done that. Yeah, my parents, listen, my father lives somewhere outside the outskirts of Las Vegas. I don't know where he is. And my mother is my mother. I'll post a video soon. You'll get what I mean by that. But yeah, you have to make boundaries with anybody in your life. Bryson, give me who's on the call.
We have Lindsay from Portland.
Lindsay from Portland.
Hi, Robby. It's Lindsay.
Hi. Oh, Lindsay, how are you?
I'm doing so good. How are you?
Oh, I'm good. You know, I'm probably doing better than anybody in the country. I'm the only one prepared for this mess, you guys.
Well, of course you are. You're amazing.
Thank you, Lindsay. Love you. Love your guy. You guys are such great supporters. How can I help? Is there any way to give back to you? You guys do so much for the show.
Oh, I just wanted to call in and say thank you so much for your advice last week. It meant so much. And I felt so much more at ease with making my artwork and with just posting it and not worrying about the numbers and not worrying about whether or not I'm going to succeed. Because I know eventually I will. I've got the work behind me and I've got the talent, and you helped me see that, and I really appreciate it.
Yeah, I'm happy to help. Art is one of those things that it's a long-term thing. That's what makes it so difficult to do.
Her nails.
My nails.
It really. Your nails look amazing.
I mean, they're extremely short.
They are incredible.
I'm embarrassed that they're this short. They almost look like I bite them. I didn't bite them. But I kept them short because I knew she would do it. I didn't know what the shellac was, and she made me seem like I couldn't trim my nails for 2 weeks. She told me 2 weeks. So I'm like, I got to cut them extra short because how long are they going to be in 2 weeks with this shellac? Hard to get the thumb in
Well,
too.
they look amazing.
The thumb in.
The color is perfect.
Oh.
It's absolutely perfect for you. And also, I love the necklace that Natalie made for you. 2 pearls is not nothing.
It's not nothing. And she did give him, now she's getting text, so she gave me 4 pearls. So it's like, okay, it's $4. Like, you told me it's $1 pearl. I understand it's expensive for a bead, but am I not worth $4? $3? It's like, what are you like? What are you?
There's a lot more.
From? Nobody else has. Natalie has all the beads. Nobody has beads because Natalie's hoarding them. It's like, why? Lindsay, I love that you're feeling inspired about your art. It's going to be an up and down for the rest of your life, right? This is something that's up and down the rest of your life. So
it will be, yes.
Managing the emotions, managing the excitement, managing the passion, managing the, the optimism and then pessimism, managing all those things is part of the cycle of an artist's life. It truly is. And the thing is art is one of the longest careers you have. You maybe started as a child and people do art to the day they die. So there's not as a limit, it's not like if you're working in tech and you have 20 good years, you have 80 good years in art,
Mm-hmm.
And my sister, actually, she just brought up my grandfather in that art career thing that I shared with you when he became an artist truly in his 50s. And she was talking about it too, because she was thinking of having a second career. She was talking,
mm-hmm.
it was right now she's in tech sales and she's doing very well. But she says she's starting to maybe look into a master's program for, helping people and that sort of thing. And she said, maybe this is a long-term, almost a retirement career for her, is the way she looked at it. And maybe in 10 years, not
Mm-hmm.
retirement, but when she's 40. So the fact that she's even thinking of a whole second career, maybe only starting at 40, is wild to me. But that is it did remind us again of my grandfather who had a successful career, but it's because he's been preparing his whole life. So she was like, maybe I'll go to school now and I'll take it slowly. I'll do a class a semester for maybe something like 8 years and I'll be more prepared. Like there's no rush. Do it. Just continue to do it.
Well,
and you never know. And it could blow up next year.
It's just something that you're always growing and learning at. And it's something that I'm passionate to grow and learn at. And I think that that's something that keeps me going. Just the constant change, the constant ability of proving. And since your advice, I've been revived a bit, and it really means the world to me.
Well, thank you so much, Lindsay. What a way to end the hour this week, guys. Lindsay calling in, complimenting my advice. How many people call back after to compliment the advice they gave me? Not enough, in my opinion. Okay, we can learn something from Lindsay today.
Yes.
It's called appreciation.
All of you should be complimenting.
You know I love compliments. I don't ask for a lot. I ask you to support PlanetScum.live and compliments, which are free. Unlike the pearls Natalie gave me, $1 a pearl. Lindsay, thank you for calling. Please share more of your art. You guys are following. Let's share Lindsay's art right now. Wait, Lindsay, is something we can share on the show? Where can people find your art? What can we share with you right now?
I'm at Lindsay P Illustrates on Instagram.
Bryson, get this done.
I think Bryson follows me, so he has no excuse to suppress my artwork.
It's a good thing you told him he has no excuse, because he's looking for one.
I'm not looking for one. I'm just trying to bring it up.
We have to be proactive with Bryson because,
Bryson, we love you.
We love you so much. It's a tough love. It's a tough love. Sometimes it's tough advice, and sometimes it's a tough love with Robby Hoffman. Talking to myself in third person like Tarzan.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Bryson, is it up there?
Give me a second. One quick second. Here we are.
Oh my God. This is even better than, this is like, is this new? Did you have all this up last time we shared your thing? Maybe I should have shared one post. Was it one post?
I had to start over. My profile was deleted because of content.
Oh no.
Go to the very top of it. Sorry,
Robby, this isn't a me thing. I can't go to the top of it because Twitch will take us off the air.
Why?
Because this is a Twitch thing, Robby. So don't project this on Bryson.
Okay,
Twitch is very weird about the female body.
Okay, just go to the name. I'm saying go to the top. Forget the female body.
Okay, let me resize this so that I can get there. Lindsay P.
Great.
Illustrates.
Yes, I do focus on the female body a lot.
Okay, they tried to silence women, and they blocked her last page. So follow this Lindsay _P_ Illustrates, And can people order prints? Can they do that sort of thing? Or can they order originals? Or what are you willing to give up right now?
Yes, I am available for commissions, and if people want to order prints, they can send me a contact message through my website, which is on my profile.
Okay, well, Bryson, click that little website right there. That'll be better.
Lindsay, is this going to get us taken off of Twitch?
No, why, what is, we might want to leave Twitch. What, does Twitch have a problem with tits?
Yep.
They do?
I hope that my ladies don't get you kicked off Twitch.
You might be leaving very soon. I might play Linkin Park and end the whole thing now.
Oh, did it not come up? Oh, sorry. It opened in another tab.
Okay. Where is it, Lindsay? Oh, it's a beautiful website. Body positive illustration.
Thank you.
They're really stunning and gorgeous and powerful. Really powerful. Guys, go to the website once more. Go to the URL, Bryson, that we can see it.
The screen share doesn't show that, but that Instagram has it linked on the profile.
Okay, but what's the URL? Can you read it to us?
LindsayPDesigns.com.
LindsayPDesigns.com. Guys, you got the Instagram, you got the website. Lindsay, thank you so much for sharing your amazing, powerful art with us. We'll speak to you next time.
Thank you.
Not at all. Bryson, can you get me back? Am I on the screen? Does anybody see what's happening? Or is what, Twitch cutting me off too now? You don't think I could play a Linkin Park song featuring Jay-Z and end this whole thing now? I could. Bryson says they don't like Linkin Park for some reason. Why don't they like Linkin Park, Bryson?
It wasn't Linkin Park. It was just the fact that it's copyrighted music.
So it's Jay-Z and Linkin Park?
It has nothing to do with artists. It has everything to do with...
Something's fishy. That's all I know. Guys, I have been Robby Hoffman. You can follow me on Instagram. We are inching closer to our road to 10K, which is ongoing until we hit 10K. Bryson, get me my scroll. This should be like clockwork now. Robby Hoffman on Instagram. Did you see that video of my brother? See the cutest thing alive? Natalie wants to know if he's single. He is a 1-year-old. Maybe give him some time. You're following me on Instagram. You're following me on Twitter. I had a very viral tweet. I am Robby Hoffman on Twitter. You are supporting the show at PlanetScum.live. If you enjoyed what you saw, it really helps out the channel. It helps out Bryson even. It helps out Jess. Do it for Jess. She just moved. And Forrest. Okay. And if you make sure to give PlanetScum.live the drop-down Dykevice. It helps everybody but Gethard who doesn't need the help. We will see you next week. Thank you so much. I'm going to be the first therapist to tell you exactly what to do.